It's a new year. That means we've got a new Jason Statham action thriller. And this tradition of new Jason Statham movies coming out in January will continue next year as well when The Beekeeper 2 comes out. But today we're talking about Shelter. While I'm talking, be sure to join me down below in the comments section. Let me know, what did you think about Shelter and what's your favorite Jason Statham action film? Fun thing about this review, I was actually able to interview the director of Shelter, Ric Roman Waugh, get his perspective on making the film, the inspirations, kind of the philosophy behind how he does action. He's an old school guy, so he does a bunch of things the way that I like for them to be done. And one really cool thing about interviewing him is that he was actually the first director that I ever interviewed back in 2019 for Angel Has Fallen, so getting to interview him once again was pretty cool. Real quick, there's a sale going on in my merch store this week. You can get $16 t-shirts, including some of these new designs, like the I Know More About Movies Than You design. Another new design, we got the Movies Are My Personality t-shirt. We've got the classic I Talk Movies Too Much. I believe this is my all-time bestseller. We got lots of variety. You can get the I Talk TV Too Much design. You can change the color. You can change the fabric material. So if you're looking for a fashion upgrade in 2026, consider getting some of my merch at that link down below in the description. All that's down below, and let's get started with the review. And simply put, Shelter is perfectly serviceable. It is a solid Jason Statham action thriller. It's not breaking any new ground, but it is competently executed. If you like the genre, there's a lot in here that you will enjoy. If you're someone that is tired of action films and you only want ones that are cutting edge, breaking new ground, reinventing the genre, that's not what this movie is trying to do. Ric Roman Waugh is a dependable, old school action director. He was a stuntman back in the 80s and 90s. He's a guy that likes to go out and shoot on location.
Yeah, I mean, first you start with the real location. I don't like sound stages. We wanted the real thing. So we found this amazing location in Cliff in South Dublin.
Blow something up, have a car chase where you're putting the camera in the car and the camera is shaking. He's that guy. He makes those kinds of movies. That's what he likes, and that's what he is trying to make. That's exactly what this is. You can watch the trailer, and you have a very good idea the movie that you are going to get, for better or for worse. For me, as someone that likes these movies, I don't have a problem with that. I got what I wanted out of this film. Now, let's dive into some of the specifics of this movie, which kind of made it interesting. And the first thing that came to mind is that it's a movie that it starts very small and contained, kind of on this one island with a lighthouse. And as the movie goes on, the scope and size of the story kind of get bigger. It kind of is a lot of mystery. Who's this guy? What's going on here? Why is he so isolated? And at a point in time, fairly deep into the movie, it's almost like a switch goes off and we kind of switch almost genres of sorts, not in a way that violates what was there before, but just in a sense that the world of the story is opened up and it suddenly has almost this Bourne Identity flavor to it, with secret organizations, assassins, political conspiracies behind the scenes, while never losing the intimacy of the first 30 minutes of the movie. It starts off really just about these two characters, Jason Statham and this little girl, and it never loses that. It starts with just the two of them, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but it never loses the intimacy as the layers are kind of added on top of it. It's Bourne Identity, it's assassin stuff, it's also a little bit of a Save the Kid movie, and it's a bonding movie about the relationship formed between two people that have nothing else. And so then all they have is each other and the bonds that form kind of with that. As a Jason Statham action movie, of course, you get the martial arts fights, but the one stuff that stood out to me, the first big action sequence has a little bit of like a Home Alone flavor to it, of traps being set on this island. That was one of the fun ones where I kind of got to ask about it, like, where did that come from? And like my brain went to Home Alone, and his inspiration was a little bit better than what I pitched.
Once you have the real thing, you turn your team loose and you talk about the homage to First Blood. If a man was in the woods, how's he going to defend himself with a buck knife and that's it, or with a hunting knife? And we wanted the same thing for Michael Mason. If he got stuck on this island in self-exile and all he had with him is a hunting knife, how would you booby trap the island? What were the different ways that you'd be able to defend yourself?
A lot of Ric Roman Waugh's previous action thrillers were with Gerard Butler, who obviously has the charisma and the presence and can pull off the physicality, but he's not a martial artist. And so you're kind of getting to see Ric Roman Waugh's take on kind of a martial arts movie and the new angles that are kind of brought in with Jason Statham's specific set of skills. As I mentioned before, there is just kind of an interesting nature of way the scope and size of the movie keeps getting bigger, because it starts on one island and then we're like in small towns and then we move into the big city, and you just, as the movie goes along, the environments keep changing and get more and more civilized, more and more densely populated, and then moving into urban settings, nightclubs, all the kind of that fun stuff. Like I said, this movie isn't trying to break any new ground. Movies like this have been made before, even ones starring Jason Statham. And if you watch the trailer and you just went, it looks too familiar, I feel like I've seen this movie before, it's not going to be the movie that wins you over. It's not filled with a bunch of surprises that are unexpected. It's a movie where you kind of go into it and you know what you're going to get. You have proper expectations if you know who Jason Statham is and you watch the trailer for the movie. As someone that loves action movies, enjoys Jason Statham films, like, this delivered what I want. Like, it in particular, that we're on an island. We're not on a set. We're not on a sound stage. We're in a car. Like, we're in a place, a location, doing it old school. That's what I enjoyed about this film, as someone that enjoys these films.
It's like the car chase and Shelter. I wanted it to feel like the French Connection and Bullet and the movies that I grew up on. And so, well, then we did it like that. You know, we had cameras in the car with Jason driving and going like bucking broncos and hitting each other and crashing, where all of the kinetic energy you're seeing in camera, that's not us shaking the camera. That's not us faking it. The camera's getting shook that hard and it was shutting off because we were putting so much inertia, you know, on the system itself.
I'm an action guy at heart. Ric Roman Waugh makes movies for people like me, and they star people like Jason Statham and Gerard Butler, which I'm very, very okay with. Overall, I'll go with a B on the entertainment scale, a 7 out of 10. And this is for action fans only. Don't necessarily need to rush out. Overall, I'll go with a B on the entertainment scale, a 7 out of 10. And this is one for action fans only. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV.